Hi, my name is Melissa Pingle with Investment Yoga. Today I'll be leading you through a gentle flow. This class is great for anybody who's a new yogi or anybody getting reacclimated to their practice. I'll be offering some key alignment and cues with some modifications along the way. Yoga is for everyone, so give it a try. Today, all we need is you and your mat. So without further ado, get those comfy clothes on and meet me back on the mat. So today's class will be focusing on proper form, and I'll be walking you through various options and modifications that will work for you. This is your practice. I'm just your guide. As we go through the poses today, I'd like you to listen to your body. Your body knows if something's hurting or if something needs a little bit more. So one other thing I want you to be mindful of is your breath. And in yoga, the foundation is the mind-body connection. And we can become present and get that connection through our breath. They say that the only way to progress through yoga is through your breath. So I'll start today a little bit slower than a normal class would, so we get the basic foundations down. A lot of the beginning poses are universal and used in many classes, so it's important to get the foundation down before we move on. So from a seated position, whether you're seated like this, or if it feels better to sit on your knees or have something underneath you like a block or a towel pillow, whatever feels good. Let's start in a seated position, hands on your knees, and I'd like you to bring your spine up, sit up straight, and maybe close your eyes and begin to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose if that's available. In through your nose. If you were just rushing to get to class, to get yourself set up, breathe in through your nose and let out a couple ha sounds. So breathing out through your chest, breathing out any stale energy that you may have. And I'll cue you to focus back in on that breath throughout the practice today. I still need reminders myself, even as a teacher. So bring your shoulders up towards your ears and release them. Let's do that one more time. And release them. On your next one, I'd like you to bring your arms up overhead. And on your exhale, bring your arms, pushing them down towards your body. Let's do that again together. Up, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time, up. This time keep them up high, and on your exhale begin to do an open arm twist to the right. So bringing your arm behind you, chin can follow. On your inhales, twist a little further. And on your next inhale, bring yourself up. And exhale, twist to the left. Looking over your left shoulder if that's available. One more breath. And come back to the middle. And arms come down. Now bring your right arm and place your hand down. And we're gonna take a breath and bring our arm overhead, getting a nice stretch in the side body. You can bring your arm down if that's more comfortable. One more round of breath. And on your exhale, bring yourself to center. And let's do that on the left side. So place your hand down, bringing your arm overhead, reaching, getting a nice stretch here, opening up that rib cage. And bring yourself down. One more time, each side. Right arm, I'm going to bring my arm down because that feels better, but keep yours wherever you feel most comfortable. And up. And to the left. And bring yourself to the center. Next, we're going to go into a calming series. So I will have you come up to a tabletop position. So uncross your legs, bring them underneath you, and bring your hips underneath your knees under your hips, and your wrists underneath your shoulders for tabletop position. Your back should be neutral. So we'll begin in tabletop position here with a neutral back, knees underneath your hips, wrists underneath shoulders, neutral back. And we'll start to do a series called cat and cow. So bring your chin up, belly drop down on an inhale, and on an exhale, you'll arch your back up, pressing through the hands for cat pose. So inhale, gaze comes up, belly drops, and exhale, arch your back, gaze comes towards your navel, and inhale. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And from here, we're going to do our first downward dog of the day. So tuck your toes under in the back. Arms are strong. And we're going to send our seat up into the air for an inverted V shape. So adjust your feet however feels good. Be gentle on yourself. This is your first down dog of today. You can begin to pedal your feet out, stretching out your calves. And giving yourself any movement that you may need. But begin to bring your focus back to that breath. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. 2 more rounds like that. Slow and intentional. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now I want you to bring yourself back down to that tabletop position with the neutral spine. And we're going to go back into a position called child's pose. So bring your knees to the outside edges of the mat, bringing your seat back towards your heels and walking your hands forward. Child's pose is our resting pose. This is what I call our home base. And any time throughout the practice, feel free to come to this pose to reset, to get a breath, and just get a nice stretch in your back. We start out slow in yoga to bring ourselves to the present before we start moving through the series. One more inhale and exhale. So bring yourself back up to that tabletop position with a neutral back. Tuck your toes under, and we're going to do that downward dog again. So on an exhale, send your seat towards the sky, pressing through the hands, spreading the fingertips out, and releasing your head to gravity. This pose has so many benefits, but one is putting your head beneath your heart. It's a great relaxer. And then come back down to tabletop position. Checking your alignment, making sure your knees are underneath your hips, wrists are underneath shoulders. And next we'll be going into a plank position. So plank position is basically the top of a high push-up. So I'll demonstrate. Bringing your toes under, hands are strong, and having a nice straight line with the body. Your core should be engaged, pulling that navel towards your spine. Shoulders should be pulling away from your ears. And let's push up to a downward dog from here. So pressing up, inverted V shape, dropping the head, shaking it yes, shaking it no, and really pressing through the backs of the legs. And let's do 2 calf raises here. And with the goal to reach your heels towards the mat, they do not need to meet the mat. This is a very good hamstring stretch, especially for all of us that are at desks all day. And so from here, I want you to bring yourself back into the plank position. And then back up. And back down. Then set your knees for tabletop, and let's do that child's pose position one more time. Reaching our arms forward, knees towards the outside edges of the mat, and focusing in on that breathing. In through the nose, and out through the nose. And let's bring ourselves back up to tabletop position. From tabletop position, tuck your toes under, send your seat to the sky, and then look in between your hands and walk your feet forward. Let your body hang over your knees. You can have a micro bend, reaching your hands towards the floor. You can reach opposite elbows, wave side to side, and just letting your upper back release to gravity, getting a nice stretch. Then plant your hands, bring yourself to a halfway lift, so your hands can come to your shins. Your back should be flat. Eyes looking straight down, then forward fold again, and very slowly bring yourself up one vertebrae at a time and meet me at standing position. So from standing position, we will be going into our sun salutations. Sun salutations are a good time to check in with your breathing, check in with yourself, making sure you're present, and a good time to set an intention for today. So on an inhale, bring your arms up overhead, reaching towards the sky, and bring them down to heart center. And with your hands at heart center, think about what you want to get out of today. Think about someone you're grateful for and send a little gratitude towards yourself. Each time we do a practice, I will ask you to set an intention, and I will often offer one because it's a good thing to keep in your mind while you're practicing your yoga. So on an inhale, release your arms, reach back up towards the sky, forward fold, halfway lift, back is flat, gaze is straight down, forward fold, plant your hands on the mat and step back to that plank position. And next we'll be going through our first chaturanga. So if you'd like to put your knees down, I will demonstrate and then we will go through it together. So chaturanga is a fun way of saying high to low push-up. So what we do is we go from high plank, we bring our elbows in to low, and that's it. So let's try that together. High plank, just try it once, even if you're not a push-upper, to low. And come back up. Place your knees. So the chaturanga goes into a flow. You'll hear people say go through your flow when you're in yoga classes. And so what we do after the high to low, we go to high to low, which is the chaturanga. We push forward, straightening our arms, untucking our toes, and pushing up and lifting the thighs, opening the heart, looking straight ahead. All right, so let's try that together. High plank to low plank, chaturanga, and then push through. Arms are straight, legs are lifted off, feet are engaged, pushing into the floor. And let's push back to a child's pose. Good job. Let's take a few breaths, reconnecting to our present moment. And let's push back up to that plank. 2, downward dog. Stretching out those arms. Maybe noticing if you're feeling a little bit looser than you were before. And look to the top of your mat. Jump or step forward. Hang your arms down for forward fold. Release your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Sweeping your arms overhead and back down to the side. One more breath. Let's sweep those arms up overhead, swan dive them down, plant them on the mat, step back, and we'll go through chaturanga, but I'll give you a modification this time. So instead of doing the high to low plank, if that's too difficult at this time, you can put your knees down and bring yourself down this way. So high to low. And then you would push yourself through like that. So let's try that together. Knees down and elbows come back towards your body and push through. Nice job. One more time. So if you want to do the high or on your knees, whichever you prefer. So high to low, push through, lifting the thighs, and then tuck your toes under and send yourself to a downward facing dog. Nice job. Really relax the neck. Bringing yourself to the present moment. And look between your hands. Jump or step forward. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold. Sweeping your arms overhead. let's bring our hands down through heart center to the mat. Forward fold. Step back to plank. Chaturanga. Untuck the toes. Pushing through to upward facing dog. So this position is called upward facing dog. It's a great heart opener. Then tuck your toes and send yourself back into downward facing dog. Nice job. On your next breath, bring your right foot into the sky and step it through between your hands. If you can't get it up all the way, just step it where you can and move it up. Then place your back knee down, untuck that toe, and get yourself stable up for a low lunge. Core is tight, back is straight, gaze is forward. Now, I'd like you to unbend that front knee and come back. And we're getting a little stretch right here. And only go as far as you feel comfortable. And if this is as far as you feel comfortable, that's absolutely fine. This is very early in the practice. And then bring the knee back up and stretch forward a little bit. So you'll be stretching the top here, which feels really nice. And you can keep your hands on the floor if that feels better, or you can bring them up if you want a little deeper stretch. Again, this is your practice. I'm just your guide. So let's go back one more time. Straighten that front leg. And don't forget to breathe, especially when we're stretching. Breathe into the discomfort. And bring it forward one last time. And again, you can bring your arms up if that feels better. And bring yourself back to neutral. Now I'd like you to reach your arms overhead towards the sky. And we're going to do some open-armed twists. So on an inhale, reach up, and on an exhale, turn to the right. Looking over the right shoulder if that's available. And on your inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head. And on your exhale, twist a little bit further. One more. And exhale. Bringing yourself back up to center on an inhale. And open twist, exhale. Again, lengthening, making your back straighter on your inhales, and on your exhale, twisting a little further, bringing your eye gaze with your twist if that's available. One last time. And back up to center, nice job. Bring your hands to frame your foot, tuck your back one under, and bring that front knee up, and just give it a couple bends. Just loosening it up a little bit. And then place that one down. Reach the left leg into the sky, and we will balance the body out by stepping forward. And placing the back knee down, untucking that toe, and with core strength and control, bring yourself up to a low lunge. And we're going to stretch these legs on this side. So first, straightening the left leg out and bringing your chest down towards your knee. If you're really flexible, you can bend that foot forward If you're not, that's okay too. Just listen to your body. And let's go forward, stretching the back leg. Again, getting a nice stretch here. If you are a little bit more flexible, you can bring your hands onto the inside of your leg, but whatever feels good for you today. Straighten the front and straighten the back. Nice job. I told you we were going to get some good stretching. Come back to center. Tighten your core, bringing yourself up to a nice strong low lunge. Bringing your arms overhead. And on your next inhale, reach towards the sky. And on your exhale, twist to the left. Gazing over your left if that feels good. Keeping that core tight. Inhale up and exhale. On your inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. And bring yourself back up. Place your hands on the mat, framing that front foot. Tucking the back under and lifting that left leg into the sky. You can give it a couple bends if you'd like. And meet me in downward facing dog. Nice job. Why don't we give ourselves, say, a little child's pose. And bring your knees to the outside edges of the mat. Reaching your arms forward. Walking your hands back up. And then at this point, let's do a little refresher on what we've done today. So, from tabletop position with the neutral spine, we did the cat and cow. So on the cow, we dropped our belly, lifted our gaze high, and on an exhale, we arched the back, looked towards our navel, stretched through the back, and on an inhale to cat, cow, exhale, cat. One more round on your own. Inhale and exhale, cat. Then we worked on plank, so tucking the back toes under, lifting the body, creating a straight line with our torso. Core is tight, arms are strong, pushing the mat away. Then downward facing dog. Feet behind us, reaching towards the back of the room, pressing through our hands, dropping our head down, really letting our head go to gravity. Then step forward. Bend over our knees with a micro bend for a nice hamstring stretch for the forward fold. Inhale like you're on a starter's block for swimming, halfway lift. Forward fold, up into the mountain pose, reaching towards the sky. Hands at heart center for our intention. Reaching arms back up, swan diving down, placing the hands, stepping back to the plank. High to low, chaturanga, pushing through, upward facing dog, chest towards the wall, legs lifted, tucking the toes back under for downward dog. Right leg high, step it through, make sure you're focusing on your breathing. Low lunge. We got some stretching and forward. We did some twists in there, but we'll just do these little stretches one more time. Because these are really nice stretches, especially for a lot of our jobs. And then place your hands under, step back to that plank, set the knees down. You can bring your knees out and give yourself a child's pose position. Working out anything that still feels like it needs a little stretching. All right, nice. So now we will do a little core work because everybody always wants to work on their core. And feel free to message me if you have anything specific that you want me to be working on in our videos. I'll be posting 2 a week. So without further ado, I will meet you on the mat on your back. Plant your feet on the mat. Take your hands, put them behind your thighs, and begin to reach your legs towards the feet towards the sky. So what we want to do is create an inverted V. Using our core strength, holding that tight, and arms straight out. You can place them down if that is also a better position for you. So this is high boat, and we'll go down to low boat. Bringing yourself up high and low. High. If you're shaking, that's good. We're building core strength. And 2 more times. Focusing on your breath. Make sure you're breathing. And nice job. Let your body come down onto the mat. And we'll do bridge pose next. So put your feet underneath. Arms are flat down on the mat. And we'll be bringing ourselves into bridge pose. So slowly bring the bottom up. Core should be tight. Continuing to breathe. And slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time, back down. Let's do that again. So pressing into the feet, bringing the back off the ground, slowly, and hold. Making sure that your knees aren't coming out. Try to pull them together. If it helps, you can always put a block between them to make sure that you're not doing that. And slowly release. And we'll do that 1 more time. And this time, I want you to take your hands and as you bring your body up, start to walk the shoulders underneath, grasping the hands if you like. And you can get a little bit more of a shoulder stretch here. Holding that core tight. 1 more round of breath. Nice job. Release the hands and bring your body down slowly. Injuries often happen not in the pose but coming out of the pose. So bring your arms up to your knees and give yourself a little squeeze. You can massage your back out if that feels good. One way, and then maybe the other way too. And when you're ready, bring your feet to the mat, and we're gonna do supine butterfly. So let your knees fall out, the bottoms touching, and we're just gonna rest in this pose for a little bit, giving ourselves an opportunity to feel this stretch. Breathe into the discomfort. Don't hold your breath. We often hold our breath when stretching, and when we breathe into it, we get a much better stretch. Bring your hands to the outside of your legs and bring them back up together. Bring your feet to the outside edges of the mat, and we'll just do the windshield wiper. So bring your knees to one side and then to the other. And this is a nice stretch into your hips, upper back. And then bring your knees in, give yourself a nice stretch again, a nice hug. And bring yourself up. And back around to that tabletop position again. So from tabletop, what I'd like you to do is bring your leg forward and your back leg straight in behind you. And this is pigeon pose, and this is probably one of the hardest stretches for people. I invite you to bring a block to put under your hands or a pillow or anything. But what we're gonna do with our leg coming towards our hip is we're gonna begin to lean forward. And if this is too intense for you, that is absolutely okay. You can do this on your back, and one leg is straight and the other is pulling in towards your body with your arm, or you can set it on your leg and pull your leg towards you, because then you're still getting that same stretch. So legs would be down, your right leg would come over your knee, and we would stretch this way. And oftentimes that's an easier way, or more available way. And let's bring that down. And then I'll show you on your back the other way, and then I'll flip over. So bringing your legs up, left over, grabbing the calf, the thigh, whatever feels good, and bringing that leg back towards you. Or on the other way, continue on with that one. You would bring your left knee forward, and your leg would be behind you, and you would just bend over the knee. Again, it's totally the yogi's preference. And from whatever position you are in, I would like you to come to your back, and we will prepare for our last portion of the class, and that's the Savasana. And this is actually the hardest part of yoga for many students, including myself. And it's the being still and savoring in the sweetness of what we've just done, and taking some time for gratitude and to just be. So what I'd like you to do is come to a position on your mat, on your back. Let your legs splay out. Your arms can be on your heart and stomach. You can have your arms overhead, arms alongside, whatever makes you feel comfortable. I prefer the hand over the heart and on the stomach. But here, make as much space as you want, take up as much room. This is where we will end our practice together. And I invite you to take a moment every time you do a yoga to really try in this position and really savor in what you just did. And I will leave you for a few minutes and know that I will guide you out of this. Wiggling the fingers and the toes, maybe rolling out the wrists, keeping your eyes closed. And then bring your right arm up and begin to turn on the mat, resting your head on that in a fetal position. I like to think of this as a new seedling position that we've gotten on our mat, and now we're leaving a new person with new ideas and a fresh look on life. And keeping your eyes closed, gently bring yourself up and meet me in a seated position, whichever makes you the most comfortable. And gently blink your eyes open. And on your inhale, I'd like you to bring your arms overhead, reaching towards the sky, bringing your hands down to your heart center. And I'd like to end the practice with namaste, which means the spark within me honors the spark within each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Be sure to subscribe to the channel below so you get notifications of my upcoming videos, and leave me any comments or questions that you have either now or later. But thanks for joining me and have an awesome afternoon. Bye. Bringing yourself up to a seated position, blinking your eyes open, taking a cleansing breath. And let's bring our arms overhead one more time, reaching towards the sky, bringing our hands down through heart center. And we'll end today with a namaste. And namaste means the spark within me honors the spark within each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining. Hit the subscribe button on the bottom below and the like button, and we can make sure that you get updated on my uploads each week. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me.